What did your teenage daughter have for breakfast this morning? Do you even know? Well, did she skip it all together? Dr. Morgan Sauer joins us today with the Longevity Center at CHI St. Vincent to tell us why it may be important to keep up with the teenage girls' diet.
Good morning.
And their breakfast. Good morning.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah. Tell us about this new study.
This study was really interesting. It looked specifically at teenage girls, and we know that America is under a huge epidemic of obesity, and that our teenage women are very important in fighting obesity.
Right.
When people don't eat breakfast, which is actually very interesting, we are eating breakfast far less than we ever have in our history.
Why do you think that is?
On the go, too busy.
Yeah.
We're starting earlier, and actually a lot of studies say you need to actually let teens start later so they can get more sleep later into the day. And so people just forget about it. They don't think it's important. We don't talk about it enough.
What does it do then to our bodies? Say we're in a hurry. We're like, I'll eat lunch or I'll grab something later. What does it do to us if we skip breakfast?
Actually, when you eat, you release dopamine in the brain. Dopamine is actually important on multiple functions, including musculoskeletal function, coordinating your muscles.
Yeah.
But also it's important in reward. It's a reward center. And so when we get better levels of dopamine, we actually feel better about ourselves. This dopamine actually can reduce food cravings as well. So you're not having those cravings at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you have to eat something that's kind of quick and on the go, which is usually high caloric, low nutritional garbage.
Usually it is, I'm afraid. And we're going to look at some good and bad choices in a moment. Does it affect people differently? Is the dopamine different for different people?
Actually, people who are obese do have less dopamine response and a less dopaminergic response to this. Obviously, people who are taking medications that affect dopamine can have this problem. Depressed people do not have the levels of dopamine that non-depressed people do, so they may actually tend to sometimes overeat more. Depression, sometimes we say they don't eat enough, sometimes they eat too much, and so you have to be able to tease that out for good health. I think from this study that you can extrapolate this not only to teenage girls, not only just to teenagers, but to children, teenagers, and adults. This study is huge for the whole population.
Yeah. You said you were kind of surprised that they chose just teenage girls, but that it can affect all of us.
Women's health is really important, but how we eat fuels us all, and it's the human body is a human body for all of us, so it's important to what we eat.
And then what happens to, say, those girls or any of us later in life if we're not in the habit of eating breakfast?
More likely to become obese, increased incidence of depression, don't feel as well. We know that people who are depressed actually tend to feel pain more and have more health complicated issues. Obviously, depression can affect self-esteem, social networking, can affect grades. So being in the right mind, having a good body in the right mind for your educational and developmental years is critically important.
Yeah, good for them at school, and then it just sets up those good habits that hopefully they'll keep throughout their life to eat a good breakfast. Okay, I'm on the good end, you're on the not so, maybe every once in a while end, right? Let's talk about some good choices.
All right, so one of the things that I'm looking at on the bad end is we've got what I call the brown spectrum. We've got a brownish
muffin.
Yeah, high caloric meat, fake egg, highly processed muffin. We have what I call sugar bombs, or chocolate covered sugar bombs.
Sugar cereal.
Oh yeah, highly processed, nothing really of value in it.
Right.
The old cinnamon roll. I know it looks good. It is so brown, and brown is not a happy color on the plate.
And then they put sugar on top of the brown.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and add some diabetes on top of the heart attack. That's always better.
Right. And then what about your drinks?
All right, coffee. Now people are going to be. I could probably start a revolt over talking about coffee.
Yeah.
Black coffee, fantastic. If you need to add a little cream to it, fine. Use skim milk or almond milk for that nice nutty flavor. However, when you take this and you get the triple super duper industrial sized 17 different types of syrups with high-fat cream in it. That is probably about 500 to 600 calories, which is about a third of what women need.
I don't think we realize that.
A third in a cup of coffee.
Cup.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do your coffee, do it properly. Additionally, diet sodas. They don't have any nutritional value. However, they do cause insulin spikes and surges. All this will cause your blood sugar to go through the roof.
Right.
Your insulin through the roof trying to compensate. And then you crash, and you're going to feel terrible.
It helps for a little while, but then the crash comes. Okay, this burrito is kind of in the middle. Does that mean it's in the middle of good and bad?
Actually, I think it's more in the middle just to make sure things are symmetrical.
To be pretty. What do you think about something like this?
What we're seeing over here is a great combination of what we need to do with protein, which is a long-burning fuel source that helps reduce cravings, and also using complex carbohydrates with a lot of fiber in it. Again, will burn over the entire morning so you don't get hungry, you don't get those cravings. You're not eating that high-caloric, quickly packaged stuff.
So it's okay. You probably don't want it every morning, though.
Actually, you can do something well like this. Eggs are actually quite good for you. Careful about the cheese, just a little sprinkling, not a lot.
Okay.
Vegetables are huge. Vegetables in the morning are fantastic.
Good.
Not processed, lots of fiber.
I won't feel so guilty. We're about out of time, but mention the good stuff.
Fruit's fantastic. Yogurt is great, but please don't use the yogurt that's got the sugar on the bottom that you stir up.
Yep.
It needs to be Greek yogurt, and then you can add some fresh fruit for flavoring. Oatmeal, fantastic. Steel-cut oats, don't dump a bunch of sugar, use fruit. If you're going to do toast, use whole wheat toast with lots of fibers and grains.
Okay, CHI St. Vincent. Remember, of course, the Longevity Center there for seniors, but they can, of course, advise all of us to our good eating habits and our health. Thank you, Dr. Sauer.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Back in just a moment, we're going to head over to the